maybe. I don't know how to articulate it properly, but we're still doing it, and I think we need to learn. We both need to learn how to live in the present, bro. I think.
Sound.
Yeah.
Where would I go next? We kind of spoke about the raves and stuff, and I think there is a lot of kind of not even just gas, but you just talk about kind of nightlife in general and stuff. And obviously, there's something that we've kind of bonded over is vodka. And I haven't counted them, and I wish I had of how many vodka lyrics there are in there. When did that become a thing for you? Like, when did you start drinking vodka? Because obviously, it's a bit of a stereotype, being from Poland and Polish vodka and stuff.
Yeah.
But I am a bigger drinker than you.
Yeah, I didn't drink till I was 18.
Right.
I actually hated alcohol because I seen what it did to people that were close to me, and I didn't like it. I kind of feared environments that have a lot of drunk people.
Yeah.
I felt like it would it was a bad vibe, and it just ruined, like, I don't know. I thought, like, if you need alcohol to be a fun person, then it's not great. But then I indulged, and due to, I don't know, like, you just try and fill a gap within you with different things, and as soon as you think this is fun, like alcohol, I try and fill the gap with that so often. I run to it whenever, and like, it's okay to just enjoy it, but it gets to a point where it becomes a type of self-harm, in my opinion, and you become very self-destructive. And from 18 onwards, I had spells where I wasn't drinking at all. Actually, I don't think I was even such a bad drinker till I was about 22.
Yeah.
Like, I would enjoy a drink, but it wouldn't be to the point where, like, I knew it was a problem when, like, 3 or 4 days or 5 days in a row, like, I would just have, it wouldn't be like me absolutely mashed out my head, but I would have a drink, and that's not normal.
Yeah.
Like, when you actually look at it, that's not normal. But when you're all having fun, you're all thinking, like, oh no, this is normal, like, this is cool. But it's not. That's not, like, the way, like, you're just a functioning alcoholic at that point. Like, if you're still getting your things done, which I wasn't a lot of the time, I just wasn't getting things done. And this relates to all my self-destructive ways. Like, it's kind of like, I don't know, I look back at it, because, like, right now I'm okay. So I look back at it and I'm like, what? I kind of feel sorry for that person. Like, the person that wrote DNR, I feel sorry for him in ways, because I'm like, wow, you really felt like that, bro. Like, that's mad. That's wild. You need a hug.
Fair. Another kind of part of the album and getting kind of back to relationships is actually romantic relationships, or at least it appears so. How much do you kind of focus on that? Because again, when you talk about your friends and your family, obviously that's okay, because that's usually on good circumstances and whatnot. But when you talk about relationships, I guess it's mostly not, in a way. It's respectful, the way that you do it, but it's usually looking on how it's kind of the breakups and stuff like that. How does that?
Which songs in particular?
I've written them down. Let's see.
Just so I know context.
Where are we? So, like, on Die Alone, there's the I wish you took me more serious, and my lifestyle wasn't too repulsive. I should blame myself, but you never do if you're the culprit.
Yeah.
Whether that's about a relationship, I don't know, but
that is about a relationship. But that's more of a stab at me rather than on the girl, because it was.
It doesn't sound like one.
Really?
Well, because you're saying that they don't take you serious and that they don't. Take responsibility.
I wish you took me seriously. Mm-hmm. So that's the initial part. Don't misconstrue my lyrics, because she might watch this one day and be like, "Whoa." So wait, I wish you took me more seriously, and my lifestyle wasn't too repulsive. I should blame myself, but you never do if you're the culprit. So it's like, I wish you could take me more seriously, but I'm clearly doing things that it's just impossible for you to look at me and be like, you know what, this is a human being that I really want to spend the rest of my life with. Because, if you're just acting like an idiot, you can't expect people to humor that. And in whatever romantic relationship I've had, I never like, whenever I have bad spells of like, or if it's still early on, I don't expect them to see that and be like, you know what, this is something I really want to be involved with, and I want to help this person. Like, no one's responsible for my happiness. I'm the only person that's responsible for my well-being, and I don't think I should put that on another human being. But deep down, I wish that maybe I could have been. See, the what ifs. See, maybe I wish I could have been a bit more serious and a bit more mature about the way I was going about things. Yeah.
Do you often get any kind of backlash from these women? And kind of, because I imagine there's kind of two sides to it. I imagine when you're in the relationship, they're probably saying, oh, maybe you should write a song about us. And then there's probably some that'll be like, no, don't ever do that. And then there's probably some after the fact that'll be like, what, you wrote a song about? It's like, why? Like, how do you like navigate that, being a person who's going to have relationships but being an artist who wants to express themselves? Like, I
think I'm just gonna get like a what's that form you write out, and it's something
non-declaration form.
Yeah. Non-disclosure. Yeah, I'm gonna have some, like, the next relationship I get into, I'm gonna have the lady to fill out one of them. Just so, like, there's like a couple clauses, like I can write whatever I want about these experiences. No, I do get backlash, but it's not that often. I think everyone that I've been involved with is mature enough to hear those words and be like, okay, like, I get that. Yeah. And sometimes it's words that they said in the past, but it took me so long to actually understand. So I don't, like, when they do hear it, I don't think they should feel any certain way about it.
Yeah.
And if they do, then
toxic. Fair enough. Toxic. The kind of the sort of final bit that I want to kind of explore, I guess, is the whole kind of the concept of dreams. And what really struck me is the whole, are we worth being dreamt about? Because as much as I say the album like made us happy and made us kind of empowered and all that,
that question
it is a bit of a journey, and it just happened to end up on that, I think. But once you get to that, and it's like, am I? Like, does anybody dream about me? Surely not. But
yeah, it's a mad concept, isn't it? It was one of the things that came to my mind while I was going to bed. I was just like, you know what? Like how like you'll be talking to someone, and that's your dream person right there, and then you wonder like, wait, am I this person's dream person? Has anyone ever looked at me and was like, you know what, this is the human being that's the pinnacle of what I wanted. This is the epitome of who I wanted to be with. Like, do people look at us like that? And I don't know the answer for it. I'm not sure if there is an answer for it. I'm not sure if I want to hear the answer for it.
It's such a weird concept, because I don't want the answer, but I hope the answer is what I want it to be.
Yeah, like, exactly. I hope so too. But what if, like, we are the people dream about, but then they meet us and they realize that they shouldn't be dreaming about. See, it's a
yeah, fair.
This is why I just chill by myself. I'll probably make you have a existential crisis.
I mean, I feel like I'm having one now. Yeah. Sound. I think this is probably where I wrap up before we go any too deep. But the last thing that I kind of really noticed is the first line and the last line of the album. And I'm sure it was intentional, but I want to kind of ask you out because it's very interesting. So the first line is, it's all started in 96 for Heartbeat. The last line is, just let my last breath be a sigh of relief. So it's kind of the start and the end.
My guy, no one's caught that. No one's caught that.
And it's obviously kind of, the concept of the album is you kind of die and then leaving this behind kind of thing. How hard was it to do that? Because I imagine there are songs that you kind of thought, this should be the intro, or another song, that could have been the outro. And I'm pretty sure with the outro with Borrow with Love, is that the title? Yeah. Sure, that was kind of a late addition to the album, was it, as well?
Yeah.
So like,
there was a song that I sent you. It was actually sampled BoJack Horseman, and the song was called "Am I a Good Person?" And I'm not sure if you have that still.
I don't know.
I'll have to send you over. I'll have to send you the things that didn't make it onto the album. Yeah. But I sent you it, and I was like, oh, this might be the outro. And you mentioned that you want like a 32, 64 bar outro. Like, how come it's so short? And then I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I'm like, this like, let's say it is the last thing I'm ever gonna say, like, it should be that. It should explain a lot of the things and the internal monologues that I have within my head. So I think, so you actually, you influenced the outro.
Get in.
So hold tight to Lee.
I like to think I influenced everything, but
it's mad that you picked up on them things, because it is a full circle. It comes full circle fully, and then the beep, beep, beep.
yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I don't really know. I think it just worked nicely. It didn't necessarily make me feel anything, I guess.
Okay.
It's obviously kind of upsetting the idea of that being the end of you in a way.
Yeah.
But on a person, I think I'd probably kind of found more substance in the actual words in the album rather than those sort of things. But I think everyone's probably different. So.
Yeah. I want it to be, the way I like to think of it is, I want it to be like a metaphorical death of that whole thing. It's something I spoke on like previously in songs like Midnight Interlude. Yeah. Like, does killing my old self count as suicide? Yeah.
That bar's got me through a few drinks. Yeah. One thing that I did say that was the last question, but I realised that I haven't actually asked about the extended version of Die Alone. And I know that there was a big process behind that because we spoke about it, and I always said to you from 2 years ago, whenever I first heard Die Alone in its kind of demo form, I was like, this is the one, this is the one. And then for whatever reason, the single came out and it wasn't. It was like, there's a part missing.
Yeah, I said to you, like, bro, just trust the process. just trust the process. You were like, no, should have released the full thing.
I kind of stand by it, but I do understand though. And obviously, kind of there's that extra verse on the album version. And how has that worked for you? Do you think that do you think that worked?
Yeah, it did. Everyone's listening to this version now.
Yeah. And what tells you that? What tells you that it worked?
It tells me that I had a lot of messages and people come up to me. Well, not come up to me, you know, socially distanced. But I had a lot of people approach me online and tell me how much they loved the second verse and how they didn't expect it. And that's what I wanted to do, because it's something that people maybe would have skipped over. Yeah. Because like it's been out since August, so I wanna give that breathe new life into this song. And also, not sure if anyone noticed, but the last verse of Die Alone actually relates to the song next to Friends. So the last verse, thematically, it links into Friends, and then the dialogue at the end of Friends links into I Dream too, and stuff like that. And then,
I did notice that. Yeah.
So it was all of, like, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. When you actually look at it, you're like, okay, cool. So you made this link with this link with this link, but it still helps it.
It's simple, but it's strong. I think is the way to describe it. Like, it really works. It makes the album an album, which is rare in these days. Because I don't think you could listen to a load of these songs as singles, really, especially in the full version. Because once you got that outro bit, it would be like, what's next? Yeah. And I think one actually in particular was Be Free. I remember you saying to me that and being like, this doesn't really work. Like, I don't get it. But in the album, it the way that it flows and like it is spot on.
Thank you.
Like, I still probably maybe wouldn't listen on its own, but when it comes to the album, I don't skip it. And usually I would in those sorts of circumstances, I think. Yeah. But because of the way that you've structured the album, is like, really commendable.
Yeah. One more thing that I'm thankful about is the fact that I'm able to musically do whatever I want, and people still give it the chance, and 90% of them still love it. So that's something that's wild to me. That's a wild concept, because for a long time I thought, wait, like, I'm making grime now and people love grime. Is this something that, and potentially I could have just stuck a grime and maybe I would have been at grime sets in London right now on Rinse. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to explore all these different avenues, and I feel like I've done it in a way where people do still appreciate it. Like, I see a lot of, like, this is no shade, but I see a lot of artists like being scared of doing that in case they don't get the reception they desire. But you have to take the risk.
I know most artists hate this question because the album's just kind of came out and people want to sit with it and stuff. But what is next? What have you kind of learned from this to, like, take into other things? Like, I know there is a song called Bop that I'm very excited about.
New Bop.
New Bop.
New Bop.
And it's very different to the album.
Yeah, it's completely different. I'm excited about that. I'm going to be jumping back into some of the sounds that people are more familiar with that they heard me on previously, and as well as exploring new ones. But I don't think there will be like another project or album or mixtape or playlist or
Is DNR
or
an album?
collection of songs. Yes,
Okay,
DNR is an album.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So maybe until like about 2021, 22, I'm going to take my time with the next one. There's going to be a lot of new music. It's just I want to focus on singles and just approach it like that and just be very smart with it and cautious and well not necessarily cautious, just take it heads on, boom, and just build up with every single, and then when the time comes, I'll be working on an album, but when the time comes, an album will come out again. But sonically, like I've already got a plan for it. Yeah. I've already got it structured. I see what I want from it. I know how it's gonna start, but it just needs. Corona needs to just give me a pass, so I can travel up and down and go work with musicians.
Yeah. Just because you've said that there, I wasn't going to ask, but as far as collaborations go, you do have a track with NEO from Any Dons coming out like next week or something. I don't know when this will come out.
17th.
Yeah. And I know you've got a track with kind of Shaq and Reality in the pipeline somewhere. You mentioned more tracks with Shaq and Jack Craggs. I'm sure you and Jack Craggs are working on stuff. I'm sure you and Shaq were doing stuff. Is there anybody else that you're kind of working with or looking to work with? Just putting it into the universe.
Scranabis. John Dole. I hate being put on like this question. This question because as soon as I leave that door, I'll be like, oh yeah, but like me and him are working on a song. Oh, I want to work on a song with him. Jack Fox. I've got something with Letty. I think you'll like that.
Yeah, I mean that just sounds like the two artists that
Yeah, when we agreed to it, I was like, Lee's gonna love this. And it's a really good song. I love it.
Is there any kind of outside of hip hop and stuff and rap in general?
I would like to collaborate with
Zella.
I didn't want to pronounce it wrong. Yeah, because
I've been pronouncing it wrong for ages. I was saying Zila, and then literally somebody.
I was about to say
Birmingham.
Zella, but then I was like, what if it's Zila? And then Alan from Hangover, when he's doing the Rain Man stuff. Yeah, that's what
Zella. Yeah,
trying to
figure
sick. It out.
Very good. Yeah.
I think it would be interesting if like an indie band would get me on the verse. I think that would be interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure if I would even rap, but like, maybe I'll just
replace the singer.
Like we can collab, bro. Nah, who else? I'm definitely forgetting people. And
see, you made us ask more questions. And I really wanted to wrap up here, but I'm going to have to now. Because again, in the last interview we did, you were very critical of Eminem. Obviously the King of the North stuff, which I hate mentioning now because I feel like that's stuck to my name now. And it kind of, I guess, was partially my fault why it got dragged on for so long. I will take responsibility for that, so I'm going to mention it again. You kind of had that kind of beef, I guess it was beef in a way, because maybe it's not between you and him, but him and Blitz certainly did, him and TM certainly did, all them sort of people. And then you kind of got dragged into it a bit and lost some respect for him, and obviously he's made up. How has that been? Because I know you have done stuff together, you did the kind of the Northern League Cypher thing with them. I know Shaq's kind of involved there. Kind of how is that?
Yeah, when you actually get the chance to sit down with him and talk to him. When you like, a lot of these arguments can just get solved with a conversation. Yeah. A lot of these arguments can just be solved with you sitting down and just chatting to a person. But I don't think I could. I saw that at the time. I don't think I wanted to. Maybe if I did see it, I didn't want to see it. Maybe I wanted to stay blind to it. But when you realize that all this like Facebook arguments and stuff, it doesn't really matter in real life. Yeah. You want to argue with me on Facebook? Well, I'm just gonna log out. Yeah. Like, what are you gonna do then? Are you gonna come to my house? No, you're not gonna come to my house. Like, no, none of you will. Like, it's alright. So
yeah, I think that's a good kind of closing way to end this. Is talk about kind of the scene and that it's not just on Facebook. Yeah. And that there is like once you go to gigs and stuff, it's the best experience in the world. It's why I love the scene so much. With a capital NE, and I will shout the NE as much as I need to, because when it's on Facebook, I think there are a lot of times where there's just like one or two trolls that just get too much attention, and
Yeah, it takes
nobody
away.
actually cares about them. But because it's Facebook and you're just there, and it's very easy to reply, and then if I don't reply, da, 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 da. But once you're in person, you actually speak to people. For the most part, everybody is amazing and everybody supports each other. And actually, from the outside looking in, when I speak to people outside of the scene, people do say that. They say, "Oh, the hip hop scene's so supportive." Like you getting the teas thing and getting so much support on that. 90 Bro getting shared. 90 Bro shares everything. Like, I think there's so much support, and I think that's what
Yeah, I kicked
needs
off
focus on.
recently. I kicked off recently about 90 Bro. I was just
That's
like,
a scene,
yeah. He shares all your shit, every one of you. Back when this interview comes out, whenever this part of the interview comes out, I want you all to go to his YouTube channel, look at the song called Baggage, and share that as well, because I know for a fact he shared your shit.
Shade Game Edgar Davids, incredible bar. And Kush kills it as well. Kush doesn't so much have a bar, but that verse is incredible.
Yeah, I really like the Kush snapped on that.
Yeah.
That's the best I've heard Kush. But also it is like you are on a tune with 90.
Yeah.
Like you can't just say anything on a tune with 90. That would be criminal.
Yeah.
That's why it's actually not the way me and 90 collaborate. We never sit there and like think like, oh, I'm gonna out rap you.
I disagree. You might not have thought that, but that was definitely what was happening on Alignment Walls. Like the way that you went back to back, like he's definitely brought the best out of each other anyway. Like incredible. Like,
Yeah,
you remember
we got a third alignment. There's a
you
third one.
know I'm
There's a
looking forward to
third
it.
one. Yeah. I need to send you that.
Yeah.
Like
So-
I've got all of 90s parts. I just need to re-record mine. But yeah, what were we talking about? Facebook. Yeah, the scene isn't just on Facebook, but because lockdown was a thing, it upset me because every other week there would be something, someone would be arguing over, and it wasn't until recently I was just like, can we all just like stop?
Yeah.
We don't need to be best friends. Like we don't need to, we don't even need to say hi to each other when we see each other. Let's just all agree, because like in Birmingham, in Manchester, in London, like the reason why they have such big scenes now is because they focus their energy into things that matter rather than into Facebook arguments, and that's not what I'm gonna be doing. Like I'm not gonna argue with a grown man over Facebook, man. Like come on, like I don't have the energy for that.
Yeah,
Like
no,
like
I've started now just block and delete.
block and delete. Exactly.
All of them people, everybody that when I say the word troll, is the person that you think of and the people that you think of is gone from my Facebook.
Okay, yeah.
Gone from everything. Gone.
And that's a healthy way to deal with it, because then you don't need to.
Yeah.
Well, you don't, because just by watching it, you still, when you're spectating, you're still kind of playing a part, aren't you?
Yeah, well,
It's like watching Jeremy Kyle. Like Jeremy Kyle, I think it's an awful show.
Yeah.
But you're still kind of like supporting it by watching it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they're just,
And you just don't need that energy in your life. Once you replace, and because of the way algorithms work and everything, it'll replace it with something else, which is usually a lot better and usually a lot more focused to you. And that's what we need.
Exactly. Like I'm not saying here that I'm gonna be like a hippie and spread love everywhere, because that's probably not the case. But I definitely do want to be a bit bit nicer, maybe. Not nicer. What a shit word to use. No, like maybe
More thoughtful.
thoughtful. Yeah, that's the one. Thoughtful.
Yeah. Sound. Well, I think that's where we wrap up. Do you want
Thank
to
you very
plug
much.
all of you? I mean, it's your channel, but you know.
Boom. Awesome. I see all hoodies. Boom. There's a new collection coming out from Awesome soon. Hold Tight Park Avenue, Hold Tight Shack, Hold Tight 90, Hold Tight Jack, Hold Tight Rihanna from BBC T's introducing, Hold Tight my main man Lee from the Root Music Show, BBC T's,
R.I.P.
BBC introducing Northeast. Plug your other things.
Keep going. Just
It's
all of them.
It's a
No.
Kent.
I mean, I don't wait there anymore, but I did for a little bit, yeah.
Boom, there you go.
So just all of that. Yeah.
There you go, bro. Belts, bro. Belts.
And go and stream DNR, the most important thing that you should.
Yes, please do that. Please do that. Don't DNR and drive.